lets it off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Just 30 minutes to the east of Birmingham, Alabama, sits a track that is easily visible from I-20. A track that has produced some of the craziest racing you will ever see. It's the biggest and fastest super speedway in America. This is Talladega. Talladega Super Speedway, a 2.66 mile track that is the site of round 13 of the Premier Racing League in the Patriot Fire Cup Series. Now, last week in Richmond, we kicked off season 2 with a first-time winner. Tonight, we come to a track that has produced 10 first-time winners that became their one and only win in their career, and that includes Ricky Stenhouse Jr. just a few weeks ago in NASCAR. Good evening. I'm Chris Scala. Alongside me back from his vacation, Sean Ambrose. Amjad Yamin, he's recovering from his night on Talladega Boulevard, but he's also directing the show tonight, as always. And of course, Dougie Beard working the cameras. And Sean, first off, congrats in order to your son, obviously graduating down in the great state of Texas. And I know you're a pretty proud father, and you picked the right time to come back from this little vacation as we hit the biggest, wildest, most unpredictable track on iRacing. Tell us about Talladega.
You know, when I saw I was coming back to this, Chris, I thought, oh, boy, what a way to get my my toes dipped back into the rocky waters here at Talladega Motor Speedway, just off of Interstate 20 there in Talladega, Alabama, in the rolling hills of Talladega. 33 degrees of banking in these corners. That orange dirt you see in the infield used to be from the runways on this former airbase. I will tell you that that runway is still very active. A lot of the drivers use it and fly into this track. The party and on the boulevard, Talladega Boulevard, there in the middle of the track is, well, let's just say it's unrivaled. It's a party like you've never seen before. Now, this being Talladega, there's no need for a lap guy. However, as you see in practice, it's all about the draft, and that is the biggest wild card. And speaking of wild cards, we had a wild card win last week at Richmond while I was away. Paul Pepper won his first Patriot Fire Cup win. Chris is with him now.
Yes, Sergeant Pepper getting that first win last Thursday night in Richmond. Now you come to Talladega, Paul, with that momentum, and now you got the problem of, at least 26 other cars that have a chance to win at Talladega, including yourself. You bring a new paint scheme and you bring the momentum. Can you make it 2 in a row tonight?
I think we got as good a chance as anyone else does. I mean, these plate races are always a crapshoot. We got a really good. I think we got a good strategy with our Loud Pedal Motorsports teammates, and if we can miss the big one, hopefully there isn't one. But if we can miss the big one, then anything can happen.
Now, obviously, a lot of your teammates are right up there at the top of the charts as I'm looking here. Your strategy for tonight, obviously, I'm assuming, is to keep all the teammates together in line.
Well, I can't give away all our secrets.
It's common sense here.
Yeah, we're gonna work together as much as we can, and we're gonna help each other out. But we all know once that white flag flies, if we're in a position for a W, then it's every man for himself.
Now, I'm not one that gets yes and no's out of people, because I know obviously teammates have team orders and things like that. But do you see somebody, if not your team itself, doing a short pit to try to get to the halfway point?
Probably. I mean, those unacceptable guys are always out to left field with their strategies. But, sometimes it works out for them, and sometimes it doesn't. I was part of that team last year, and it worked out for them in this race, actually. They short pitted, and the race went caution-free, and it wound up benefiting them. So I imagine you'll see some kind of pit strategy for sure, trying to pit early and break away from the pack.
Now, how cool was it last week, and we watched it on the Premier Racing League drivers chat and stuff like that. How cool is it to see all those league members coming to you and saying, dude, about time and great job and stuff?
That was so cool. We, you guys hear it on the race chat. The guys that are watching the broadcast don't hear it, but we can be quite the dysfunctional family at times out there on the racetrack, screaming and yelling and bumping into each other. And just to have everybody from the league and from every team, whether it was Unacceptable, Steel Horse, Norm Pelletier's team, just send you a message and say good job. It means a lot, especially get your first win. We are a dysfunctional family at times, but we do want to see new guys getting victory lane here and there, and just really, really pumped about the support that we've got all week from everybody in the league, and not only the league, but I went up to work the other day, and a lot of people were saying they tuned in and they couldn't believe it, and this, that, and the other thing. So it's pretty cool that it reaches that far for sure.
Why do I sense a new team coming in PRL called the Dysfunctional Family? But Paul, nice job. Congratulations, man. First off on that win. Hopefully I'm the last one that congratulate you on the win at Richmond, and the first to congratulate you tonight here in just a couple hours, and we wish you the best.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a really good broadcast, and I just want to give a shout out to, if I can real quick, to DJ Beverly, who's not with us tonight, has been with us a lot this year. DJ does a lot for this league. It's his company that sponsors the Cup Series as well as the Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog, and to not have DJ around is it's really unfortunate. He's a really good guy, and I wish that we could get him around racing a little bit more, for a guy that sponsors the league and does all that good stuff for us, so we can be here and you guys can broadcast and everything. It's a damn shame he's not here, and we're going to go try and get one for DJ tonight if we can.
Well said, Paul. We appreciate your time, and we definitely reiterate that statement that you said, and we wish you the best.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Paul Pepper, driver of the number 29 car, and not going to see the usual colors on him. I noticed a black and gold car that you'll see on the track tonight in that number 29. Now, Sean, tonight 250 miles, 94 laps. So we're going under 100 laps tonight. Lap 47 is going to be the halfway where the bonus points will be rewarded from 10 down to 1 for the top 10. And we got a pretty good point battle as we just got through one race so far. The summer standings, but the overall standings too. But let's take a look at these points where we shape up.
Let's do that now, Chris. Get caught up, catch myself up, catch our viewers up where we're at right now. The summer standings here after Richmond finds Paul Pepper sitting there on top of that big win last week. Josh Skrupa in second, Nick Cohan third, Brian Yazik fourth, tied right up with Rhett McBride. Tommy Ryan sitting there alone in sixth, seventh, Tyler Dalton, Tim Johnston also tied for seventh, and Brett Puncari, I think you know him, and in ninth, and James Carhula sitting there in 10th place here for the summer standings.
Yeah, pretty tight lineup there, but that's pretty much your top 10 order from last week. And pretty much how this works out is you see the season standings. They're counting 12 races there, Sean, and then they put one drop in.
And Yazik is just barely hanging on right now because Nick Cohan and Tommy Ryan are right there nipping at his heels, sitting there second and third respectively. Tyler Dalton pretty comfortable right now in fourth. So much can change tonight here at Talladega. We can't stress that enough. Ricky Harden, James Carhula in shouting distance there for fifth. Drew Carroll in seventh, and tied up for eighth there. You see Tim Johnston, Bob Bryant. Unfortunately, he's no longer competing with us, but still holding down eighth. Josh Skrupa there in 10th. Again, though, Chris, points a premium tonight. The big thing is, well, stay away from the big one.
Yes, the big one. We don't like that. Unless you're a fan of racing, then maybe you don't want the big one, but you don't want it when you're watching a good group of guys out here doing some racing. But how cool is it to have the top three within 2 points of each other, 14 races in?
It means that we've seen some great races this season. It's been a lot of fun, Chris. It's going to get even more fun as we come down the stretch here towards the halfway point of the season. Lots of scrambling going on.
Yeah, this is the first of many wild cards you're going to see here in the next few weeks here at Talladega. But let's go back 13 races ago to Daytona, the Daytona 300. If you remember that race, we went 80-something laps, if I remember correctly, green flag racing the whole entire time. We had green flag pit stops and all. We had a wild finish that came down Ricky Harden getting the win in the Daytona 300. Can we expect the same thing tonight?
Oh, I think we can. I think practice has been a real good indicator. Everyone's looked real willing to work with each other, Chris. And I think we're going to see some great racing because of that. Strategy going to be a big deal tonight. And I think Mr. Pepper hit the nail on the head. You know, there are going to be a few teams out there with some pretty, let's say, strange strategy. May try something a little bit different. This is the place to do it.
Which leads into our keys tonight. Basically got a few here, and they're going to be pretty short and simple. Number one for tonight, Sean, finding a partner or a teammate. How big will that be?
It's going to be huge. Obviously, we've got a lot of teams here in the Premier Racing League, and so I think the teams are going to play a big factor in this tonight. If you don't have a partner, I think you're going to have I think you're going to find it impossible to get in front if you don't have somebody to work with you.
Green flag pit stops. We talked about this a little bit already. I'm seeing different strategies coming because lap 47 is halfway. You can go roughly, I'm going to say 36 to 40 laps on a tank of fuel, and that 40 might be pushing a little bit as I think about it more and more here. So do you see people maybe going until lap, say, 10 to 15 and pitting and then going to 47? Or do you see people going as far as they can, maybe shortening the strategy with 2 tires or something just to get to that lap?
You know, Chris, I think if you find yourself in a pack that is broken away from the rest of the field, you guys might try to run that out and take it as deep and as far as you can, or you could flip the script there and go early. But I think we're going to see most everybody stay on track. I think everybody wants to try and keep the green flag out as long as possible. Pit stops can get a little tricky. The entry here. You see all the space on the track. You think it's easy. It's not, because everybody's scrambling to get down there at speed and hit that line just in time. You can lock the brakes up and get the car around real easy. There could be tragedy down there for you. So you're going to have to be very careful on these green flag pit stops this evening.
Which then leads to my next strategy. This one kind of ties in with each other here. Tires or no tires? How important are those to you tonight?
I think they're critical if you've been out on them any longer than about, say, 10 laps, Chris. I think that's the way to go. I think if you wind up with a lot of caution flags, you're going to come in and take fuel and tires anyway. Don't send me out there with used tires if everybody else is in. You can make up those positions on track here with the draft.
Oh, so you're saying the old Dale strategy. I'm coming to the pits and I'm not leaving until you give me 4?
Brother, that's the way to roll, and I live by it in my strategy as well.
Well, tonight, or this afternoon, Sean, you finally returned to your woodshed after a couple weeks of hiatus, and we got to ask, who was your pick from the woodshed today?
Well, we had some pretty interesting locations over the past couple weeks. I believe we did one from the train, the Dart Rail, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area there, and I forgot where we did the other one now. I can't think of it, but anyway, yeah, we got back to the woodshed today, and I keep mulling this over, and I'd like to see James LePage, Carhula, get a little redemption tonight, Chris, and yeah, that's my pick. Give me old Jimmy Carhula this evening.
James LePage. I'm going with that. That's a new nickname for Carhula right there, officially, from Sean Ambrose himself. So Carhula going to be his pick. Matter of fact, Carhula has a restrictor plate win. If you go back to the Daytona summer race last year, the caution-free race, Carhula went to victory lane in that race, which is a very interesting pick from Sean. Now, I do got to pick on you a little bit because we had Tanner Sharp here the last 2 weeks with me, and then over in the bootleg racing league that we have on Saturday nights, we had Soup with us this past week. And needless to say, all those picks that you've made this year, Soup picked the second place winner in his only try. Or second, you can't really win second place, but second place finisher.
Well, Soup is certainly a much wiser man than myself, and Soup likes to gamble. Let me put that out there too. So Soup is an experienced better, if you will. He knows everything there is to about the line and how to play it. So I definitely would give the advantage to Soup there at the table.
Are you saying he's the Chris Economaki of our broadcast team?
I would definitely say that. Absolutely.
Fair enough. Well, looks like we're about to wrap up qualifying here. I know there's a couple cars on track, so we're going to hold off just in case. Guys, see Tommy Ryan, your Daytona 300 pole sitter, is on track right now. Let's see if he can do what he did at Daytona all over again here as he goes into turn 3 and 4. Looks like he's just on his out lap right here. So he's going to, the old throwaway lap as they call this. We'll sit here and watch this here for a second. But Talladega in qualifying, you got that throwaway lap. So when you sit up there on the high side, you just kind of keep the momentum up, and then you're going to bring it down to the bottom. And the start-finish line, in case you haven't watched enough TV, is down over here in turn 1.
Yeah, one of the interesting things about Talladega, unlike Daytona, you have to get almost to turn 1 before you hit the start-finish line here. And that makes that last lap always a lot of fun, Chris, because they got the whole that whole front stretch to work through to have a nice drag race down to that finish line for.
Yeah, and the reason why Big Bill France built this track back in 1969, and basically the reason why he put the start-finish line down there is because he wanted to sell tickets in that area of the track. So he moved the line down there, thinking, you know what, we can have some wild finishes between the tri-oval, which is like normally Daytona, to turn 1 at Talladega. That's why he did that, and it's pretty much done its job for the most part. Watch Tommy Ryan. He's going to cut the thing down to the apron here, or close to the apron, I guess. Not sure if that's going to hurt him or not. We'll watch him come across the line.
Yeah,
6th
not
fastest.
Bad.
Yeah, not bad. So he's not going to be the pole sitter. That looks like it's going to be in the hands of Nick Cohan, the NP3 Designs Pole Award winner. Going to be Nick Cohan at number 21, driving for now Loud Pedal Motorsports. As of a couple weeks ago, as he runs that lap, and he put it right on the bottom. This is all just keeping it right on that yellow line, pretty much.
Yeah, you want to hug that line. The shortest way around this track is down on that line, Chris, and Nick's got it dialed in there, drifts it a little bit up to the center there, trying not to scuff any speed off. That's exactly what you don't want to do, is scuff any speed, especially on a qualifying lap, and anytime you have to turn that wheel, you're scuffing speed. He gets it down there on the line. Very nice and comfortable here through the turn.
And another thing we should mention real quickly about Talladega, one of the big finishes, if you're a fan of old racing, you back to 1981, there was a finish at Talladega. I know one driver was Darrell Waltrip. I forget the other guy that was battling with him at the time. But here comes this guy named Ron Bouchard, who goes to the bottom line. As the two were fighting up the track, he goes to the bottom and crosses the line in front of them to win the race. It was actually his only win in the series Bouchard I'm talking about. So talk about that separation between the tri-oval and that start-finish line. That is one you want to go back and remember. But there you see the lap with Nick Cohan going to be the pole sitter tonight, and kind of a smaller field. But before we grid, we do need to turn to the national anthem, so we're going to go trackside and go to the anthem. And back at Talladega, as you see the crowd starting to fill in, and we're about to grid here for the start of this 250-mile race. It's the Steel Horse Racing 250, oh, by the way. So this race sponsored by the Steel Horse Racing team. as we get ready to grid for this race. I do want to thank Niles Yenzel, I believe that name is on there on our YouTube chat, who said it was Terry Labonte who was that battler with Darrell Walter. Forgot that guy's name, and it was Terry Labonte, but appreciate that. But right now, let's get the starting grid as Sweet Home Alabama plays in the crowd here, because that's what they always do. With 1 lap to go before they go green at Talladega, they play Sweet Home Alabama from Leonard Skinner, but Nick Cohan starts on the pole alongside Josh Skrupa.
All right, and then we got Tyler Dalton and Ricky Harden on row 2.
Row number 3, there's Brian Yazik, another member of that Loud Pedal Motorsports team. Will start alongside Tommy Ryan.
Row 4 going to be Joshua King and Randy Yoakum.
Row number 5, there's the Richmond winner, Paul Pepper. He'll start alongside Jonathan Shipman.
All right, go to row 6, Thomas George and James Crahula.
Yeah, it's your pick right there, starting 12.
Yeah.
Rip Kari, he'll start inside of row number 7 alongside Tim Johnston.
Row 8, Rich Jetty and Rhett McBride.
Woodrow Mahan alongside Norman Peltier the third there in row 9.
Row 10 is going to be Devin Cannon, Travis McQuistion.
Taking a look at row number 11, Troy Haight will start alongside Justin Rodden, who's in a motorcycle page scheme this weekend.
All right, row 12 going to be Rick Thompson and Taylor Klinker.
Jonathan Lawrence, Michael Krobach, Mr. Bad Luck, is starting there in the 26th position, hopefully changing that tonight.
All right, row 14, Gerald Livingston, John Wilco, and the 29th starter this evening going to be Stephen Herring.
29 cars getting ready to take the grid. Actually, it's kind of a smaller field when you look at what we had recently, even though it's still a big field of 29 cars that are going to grid here and go racing. Here, 94 laps, 47 will be the halfway point. We'll keep you up to date with that, obviously, as the pack takes off here to do their parade lap around this Talladega Super Speedway. What do we expect tonight, Sean? I mean, we're going to see 2-3 wide racing. It's like New York City at 200 mile an hour.
Hey, you know what? I think what we're going to expect is kind of what we saw in practice. I think we're going to see everybody settle in here. I don't think anybody's going to be in any hurry to make a big move here early, Chris. I think the object here is to get to racing, be smooth, get your little packs going here, and start working working towards that first pit stop.
For those watching us on iRacing Live tonight, we appreciate you joining us, and those on the Global Sim Racing channel over on our GSRC YouTube page. You could chat with us there, and of course Sean and I and even Amjad, we all have our chats up, and of course talking to other drivers who are here tonight, and all the fans watch us. We appreciate it. You can send your picks who you think is going to win over in chat, and others. I'll have to check with Sean. Was James Crahula in the Lionheart race last night? They were asking.
Yes, James does run in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. That's correct.
And you can see those races Wednesday night, pretty much. So, fun series there. Indy cars that race at I think it's 10:30 or so every Wednesday night Eastern time. That is 7:30 if you're over in Cali.
Yes, sir. We had a blast last night with the DW12s at Mossport.
Oh, yeah, that had to be fun.
First time that
go down
series
the
had run
Andretti
there.
straight in that car. Wow, yeah. All right, Sean, time to get those seatbelts fastened, my friend. Pace car is going to pull off 94 laps. 47 is the halfway point, and it's been a couple weeks. I've had to say it for you, but it only comes from the master the right way.
Baby, let's get this party started. It's time to boogie.
Here we go. Green flag in the air. Cohan, Skrupa, and green at Talladega. The wild card. One of many during the second segment. It's going to take about a half a lap to get these cars up to green. Flag full speed. And Skrupa with a pretty good start down there. He's going to get to the bottom. Not sure if that's a planned thing between both teams there, but wow, Skrupa, who pretty much dominated the state of Virginia the last 2 weeks, is going to get the lead off of turn 2.
Everybody side by side heading down the back stretch here.
And
nobody fighting.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, nobody fighting too hard to get down to the bottom. Both lines working pretty good right now.
Everybody's going to get settled in here. These guys have a history, as I said, throughout the season. Here, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth, or third, or fourth actually restricted plate race this league has run. I could be wrong on that number. I'm trying to remember here off the top of my head, but they've always had long green runs. It seems like at these tracks. So we hope that continues here tonight. But you never know when and if the big one will happen. If you don't know what the big one is, basically picture this whole entire pack wadded up. Here's your big one.
Yeah, hang around.
Hang around.
We'll introduce you to the big one.
Get your popcorn ready. But, we do appreciate it.
Oh boy, look into the. Oh boy, we got a break in the middle there.
Oh, we're 3 wide here. Second already. Going in the sucker. Oh no, Rhett McBride gets turned.
Oh no.
Pancari got a piece of it.
Rhett McBride. It starts with Rhett McBride. Looks like he got a little help from the 56.
Oh, and look who is in it. Michael Krobach has got damage.
Got just a piece of that. Krobach did, yeah.
Wow. The one thing I've been seeing a lot in this race, in the races at Talladega, I've noticed has happened again, and that is that left rear bumper hook.
Yeah, and you know, boy, Norm just got a run there. He got a little bit of a run, tries to just back off a bit, and there's a slight tap, but boy, in the middle of the turn there, it's a tough place to take a shot.
We're going to go on board Krobach here.
Yeah,
you're going to see the damage he gets there, but this is going to bring the first caution out, and unfortunately, that 7 car, it's Mr. Bad Luck strikes again.
Maybe he can recover from that. A little bit of right front damage.
That thing's smoking. I don't know.
Yeah, it is smoking. Yeah, that's... Boy. Oh, tough break for Krobach. Several cars involved in that. Rich Jetty, Rhett McBride, Woodrow Mahan, Michael Krobach, all in for repair.
I see Pancari's got some nose damage. Devin Cannon's got damage to his rear. Trying to see other damaged cars in there. Looks like everyone. I see. I mentioned Cannon already. But yeah, most of these cars all damaged up here. Some are gonna come to pit road to either get damage fixed or maybe go to the back. But yeah, I think that might be officially the earliest caution we've had on a restrictor plate race in TRL history in the Cup Series.
And Scrupa having a little bit of trouble. I don't know, with his connection, maybe? I hear driver 2. It's Joshua King, actually. I'm sorry, number 35, yeah.
Hopefully he'll get that all fixed up. But already Michael Krobach's taking his car behind the wall. Looks like Woodrow Mahan on pit road getting towed. Rich Jetty and Rhett McBride all getting towed. Others on pit road just getting damage fixed or whatever. Now, if you didn't get major damage, you could be able to stick in this draft. It might be tough for some, but hey, we'll just have to see what happens. You see that Woodrow Mahan. The barbecue's cranked up on pit road. We got a roasted golf ball.
Oh, hey, it's appropriate. Memorial Day weekend at hand. Let's probably get a rack of ribs on, Chris. They should be ready by the end of the race.
Well, the good news here where I live is a barbecue restaurant just opened up walking distance 5 minutes from my house.
I'll take that. I had barbecue one of my last few nights in Texas just before I came back. Yes, sir.
So I don't think anybody was a lap down, so we're not going to have a Coastal Safety Auditor's lucky dog, but another bonus out of that is Woodrow Mahan takes his car behind the wall. This should be a quickie yellow, which usually only happens on the first caution in a race. They usually can get this rounded up, and we should get 1 to go, I'm thinking, this time by, and we'll get back to racing.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris, I hate this for Brett Pancari, fairly new here to the series. He put in a lot of laps during practice leading up to this race and worked with a lot of these guys, drafting and just a victim there. And he does have some pretty significant front-end damage on that car. Probably going to be off speed, I would imagine. He's going to be very important for him to get a good restart and try and get right behind somebody and stay with him to keep that draft, because if he loses, he's going to drop like a rock.
Now, something I want to bring up here, if you go back towards the back of this pack, you're going to see the 23 car of Jonathan Shipman. He was supposed to start up in the top 10. He actually started this race on pit road, like he knew something was coming.
Well, that's one of those strategies you can play here at Talladega. We see drivers do it quite a bit. Certainly in the open races on the iRacing service, sometimes that is a good choice to make. stay out of the trouble. But not surprised by that strategy.
Well, it looks like here's an interesting strategy. Josh Skrupa is going to start on the outside of that number 19 car of Tyler Dalton. Dalton switching numbers this week. He was the 09, if I remember correctly. Now he's in the 19, running that retro 1988 paint scheme of the late, great Davey Allison, who unfortunately just missed getting into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. I'm sure he'll be pretty much in next year. But his car owner at one point, Robert Yates, getting in. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, certainly Yates has a place there, and good to see him get inducted. Speaking of which, I might have had a cocktail with Robert Yates on the boulevard here in Talladega at one time.
I'm pretty sure if you're in NASCAR, you've had a cocktail with them on Talladega Boulevard, and I mean anybody has when it's all over with. But pace car going to hang a left here, and we'll see when the 25er Skrupa gets on this gas. He's apparently Josh King still having those blinker issues. Somebody give him some blinker fluid.
He's gone. He's gone. He's not in there.
And Skrupa on it. He's going to cut to the bottom here as he gets a pretty good restart. That inside line, very unorganized. Matter of fact, look at Cohen going to jump outside on Dalton here.
The 21 stuck. Oh,
Yikes.
Boy. Nick Cohan had himself there in the middle, was pressing the issue, finally drops down in line. Oh, that was tense.
Like I said, a very unorganized restart there. But looks like the first 5-6 cars going to go single file. The first battle was Randy Oakham, who happened to win a duel earlier this year in Daytona, that A car. And Perhula's going to say, "Yep, you're on your own, buddy." That whole inside line is just going to go freighting by.
Boy, it didn't take him long to go line astern on that restart, Chris. One lap, and everybody knows to tell.
Josh Skrupa started outside pole, was able to get the restart and take the green flag and lead that first lap. He's led ever since. You got a long caterpillar trail, I guess, or something, a conveyor belt, we'll call it, but the single file line is here officially. All the cars, as far as I can see back, are single file down the back straightaway. One car losing the draft a little bit. Looks like Devin Cannon back there at 83. Yeah. He's got some heavy damage.
Yeah, and, and a little off on the restart there. Didn't get a good jump, and it really left him out, and he's really slow on the track right now. Another car losing that draft is Taylor Klinker, having trouble with it, but I talked about Brett Bucari. He did exactly what needed to do. He's got himself right there on the tail of Troy Haight, and riding along with Gerald Livingston. That's a nice little 3-car pack that could work together and get themselves back to the pack here.
Yeah, that's the tough part about being in the pack, because you ride on board with one car. You can actually almost see the phone number of the sponsor there on the hood, but that's how damaged it is. But he's staying up there in that pack. You wonder if that engine, how it's going to run in that car. But the one thing about this pack that's tricky about these Gen 6 cars on iRacing is you do not want to be the last car in line. Because that last car in line, unless you have somebody pushing you, it's almost automatic you're going to lose the draft. And right now that car is Taylor Klinker, and you can see him already falling back off the pack. There's Klinker right there. We'll watch him cross the line. Looks like he's already about 2 seconds back from the pack. So that just shows you why you do not want to be the last car in that line. Just listen to everybody chatted up here, communicating with each other, but you see the single file line.
Yeah, coming around for lap 10 here. We've got a long way to go, but I like the way it's going right now. Everybody behaving themselves here, Chris.
Yeah, and right now, if you basically you cannot go the distance from here, and I say the distance to the halfway point on this tank of fuel. So it's interesting to see what we're going to see here in the next couple laps. Will somebody come to pit road, just take the couple of gallons of fuel that you're going to need to get to lap 47, or will they go for at least half the stint, maybe split that 47 in half, go to about lap 23 or so?
Yeah, well, we contemplated that here just before we got started. I still like staying out here for a while and just working the car a little bit, because I think you're going to need that long run at some point towards the end. I think you want to know how the car is going to behave. I don't know here. I think we're in for We're in for about 20, 25 laps here, Chris, before anybody thinks about it.
On board with the 93, Travis McQuiston in the 13th position. Travis just riding along in his pack of about 15 cars. You got Norman Peltier right there behind him at 14. Thomas George in the 24. Another paint scheme for him. That Snap-on car right there in the 12th position, but they're just riding along. And Cohan having some blinking issues here, so
Nobody's safe.
apparently not. Apparently we might need to get some tin foil or something for some of these drivers to stay in.
Hey, Chris, I guess we should probably give Brett here in the chat a little bit of credit for calling out the Haviland paint scheme there.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Car, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's always cool to see these old school paint schemes. They did point it out, and obviously, yeah, we had knowledge of the paint scheme and stuff, but it's always cool to see the viewers recognize that kind of thing. And I always find it cool because, yeah, there's a lot of things that you and I both know about NASCAR. You obviously grown up on the short tracks, and I sit here on YouTube all the time watching old school races and stuff, and it's always cool to see fans talk about it. And like they mentioned the 81 race, somebody mentioned Terry Labonte. That's always cool. That makes me smile because I can sit there and interact with, you know, viewers about old school racing and stuff like that. As we're starting to see that back towards the back of this pack, McQuiston and Shipman starting to work their way.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Let's start giving a little love to the high line here, maybe.
Oh, one more jumps out there. Paul Pepper jumping out. Now that's going to be trouble for Shipman because now he's got nobody helping him because McQuiston is pushing Pepper. Look how far Shipman's already fallen back off of McQuiston now. You can side draft these cars.
I like that move. I think why not? Let's get up there and work it. Get a little rubber up there in that groove.
You know what, Sean? I want to mention this in our chat. Justin's mom is in our chat right now, and off the air, Amjad and I were talking about his paint scheme. The 27 is running a tribute scheme about motorcycles and stuff, and it appears that that question of ours has been answered. It's a paint scheme in honor of his uncle, unfortunately, who was killed on a motorcycle. So that's where you're seeing this tribute paint scheme about Look Twice, Save a Life, which is a deal. So it's a tribute motorcycle dedicated to Calvin, who is the uncle, basically. So that's where that paint scheme comes from that we were talking about earlier. Really cool tribute there, and obviously wishes to the family. It's obviously a sad deal when you see anybody get killed, especially in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah, certainly. My sincere thoughts to them as well. I have a lot of friends who ride and a lot of friends who've been victims, unfortunately. So certainly a cause I can relate to.
Hey, what, this second pack here, I want to look back here where, matter of fact, Rodden is.
Yeah,
you got a line forming up back here with Wilco, with Pancari, with Gerald Livingston, these guys trying to get active here.
Watch out, Rick Thompson.
I don't know if this is a good idea to be doing, though, right now, because you want to stay single file and even run that queue line.
Pancari doing a really good job, Chris, hanging in there. Captain Motorsports, fighting, digging. Ooh, reckon to look to the middle.
I don't know the guy who owns that team, but he's an interesting character. I'll just say that. Oh, yeah, they're getting all 2-3 wide here. I don't know if that's a good idea, but like I said, they're just going to fall off this pack.
Troy Haight got really wide there, and he loses a lot of space there to them. Now Livingston finds himself side by side with Pancari coming off the turn.
Jonathan Lawrence in that SmackDown Live car. I see he's already updated the paint scheme to have Jinder Mahal as the champion. Outside line is slowly creeping. Right there on the left door. And look up front here. That outside line is coming to work. Thomas George up there now. Outside line is slowly creeping. As they come up on the lap car of Devin Cannon here. Devin's going to go a lap down. Unfortunately, maybe he'll get Brutus to come pay him a visit here later, maybe.
Staying out of the way, Chris. Doing a good job there. Hold on. Oh, jeez. Watch out.
One thing he never wanted to do is mirror drive in this track.
Boy.
He was mirror driving, I think, a little bit there.
Look at this pack scramble.
That Cohan's jumped to the outside now. 4 cars running that high line. Some wild stuff here already. Single file for a little bit, but now everybody's starting to team up and start to do-se-do, as they would say, around this Talladega Super Speedway, home of the Talladega hot dog. You ever had one, Sean?
No, Chris, because honestly, when you're down on the boulevard, you're generally making your own food, buddy.
Just true.
Yeah, you're cooking out, you're grilling all weekend. Breakfasts are really breakfasts of champions, if you know what I mean. Not a lot of solid food involved with breakfast.
I didn't know you drank milkshakes. Anyways, with that said, getting close there between Dalton and Cohen.
Yeah.
Down there on some side draft. But the Talladega hot dog, for those who've never been there, I was there in 2011, the race where everybody was tandeming with each other, and Johnson won that 4-wide battle across the line. Basically, the Talladega hot dog is an 18-inch hot dog. It's big, and it's really good to eat. I don't know if it's as good as a Martinsville hot dog. I've never had one, so I can't compare it. The Dega dog is
yeah, and I've had the Martinsville hot dog, and I can say it's really good, but I'm guessing that 18-inch dog there in Dega is pretty darn tasty.
Ooh. Look at this, McQuiston pushing the 24 into the 21, and Cohen going to try to get pounced out into that lead. Thomas George looking pretty good, and I'm seeing, Josh King pitting in here. Are we going to have some pit stops here? Here comes the strategy.
Oh, here we go.
Don't lock them
Chris,
up.
They were listening to you, favoring that earlier strategy. A lot of cars coming in there.
I believe you got Pelletier Motorsports here. You got Unacceptable Racing, all these guys on pit road.
Oh, and teammates getting into it there. James Grahula, Ricky Harden, door-to-door. I'm sorry, Tommy Ryan, door-to-door there.
Now, what these guys are hoping for right now is to get this pit stop done, and it looked like 2 tires for most of everybody, but what they're wanting to happen here is this race to stay green, and these guys able to push up to the lead, and here comes Cohan calling this pit. But another thing that would work here is if they were to get a caution right now, they would be the leaders.
Wow, and a lot of two-tire strategy going on there.
And George going to stay out, but here comes the loud pedal guys to pit road. Also Shipman coming, McQuiston, Tim Johnston.
Very interesting. Okay.
See if these guys do 2 or 4. I'm assuming these guys are going to do 2. Whoa, Johnston overshooting his pit stall. That's never good. Oh, fuel only for McQuiston. Fuel only for Shipman. Fuel only for these guys, it looks like.
Wow. Okay.
Let the strategies begin. Now, Thomas George, actually, let's see. There comes that second pack with Harden right now. They're going to be coming up on this pack here. We'll see where they cycle out. But Thomas George is singing all by himself right now, literally. He's a lone ranger.
I'm following Skrupa and Ricky Harden right now. They just got themselves on the back stretch, coming up on this next pack of cars in front of them. Let's get Yazik, Cohan, and McQuiston.
You know what Thomas George is singing right now? You picked a fine time to leave me, lead pack, lead pack. Oh, 3 wide over here on the front stretch. The cars that are up to speed, Ricky Harden and Skrupa trying to pass his pack.
Oh, they got the run. They've got it indeed, yeah. And away they go. Everybody else just about back up to speed. They're not going to get away too quickly.
Good stuff here at Talladega so far. Lap number 21 of 94. Again, the reason why you're seeing these strategies happening is because lap 47 is halfway, and basically you're going to have bonus points from 10 down to 1 for the top 10. It's like the NASCAR series, except they don't throw a caution. They keep going. So you get your fuel now, and now you are easily going to about lap number, if I do the math right, carry the 159. Will probably be the farthest they can go. As you see up here for the lead, Yazik and Cohen, the loud pedal guys on that high side, trying to work the 2-car tango here, but not working. Josh Group has led the most laps. He dominated. He led over, if I remember correctly, we had 200 laps at Richmond, 300 at Martinsville. So 500 combined laps. I'm safe to say, I didn't get this exact number, but Josh Group led at least 350 of those 500 combined laps. I mean, just absolutely blew the field away at Martinsville, but it was at Richmond.
Oh, Krahula having to get on the radio. He had to check up.
Looks like the guys in the front, yeah. But as I was saying, but he did not lead or win the Richmond race. Lead pack coming up on Devin Cannon to put him another lap down. And I want to look back here at this second pack here. These guys here are still fighting it out side by side. Rodden's in here. Thomas George has caught this pack now. You got the 82 up in here. Troy Haight, Rick Thompson, John Wilco. If these guys would go single file and run the queue line, they could actually start catching that front pack. I think they heard me. Now, they haven't pitted yet, so they are the leaders technically. I called them the second pack, but they are the leaders technically right now with John Wilco. But if these guys were to run the queue line, they would be able to keep their distance from that second pack and even start to work in on them, even though they still got to make a pit stop here. Not that they're probably listening to me. See the 98 in there, Stephen Herring, Gerald Livingston there. You got Jonathan Lawrence in that 66 car.
Yeah, they've got their own little strategy going on right now, and Wilco at the front of this field, Rick Thompson giving them really, really nice push here. Down the front stretch, across the line. John Wilco, your leader, 22 laps. And was one of those drivers that came in on that early caution there, came in real quick. In fact, our top three, Wilco, Thompson, and Haight, all came in. Thomas George, Justin Rodden, and Gerald Livingston did not. So they've got a couple more laps on those cars.
And I've got my I was going to say, Sean, I got my calculator out, and basically, we do the math. It looks like they can get to about lap 41 on a tank of fuel this pack here.
Yeah, they're playing the long game, it looks like right now, at least.
The strategies of Talladega, this is why we love this kind of racing. Yeah, they're single file, but the fact that you got two big packs running two different strategies and not knowing when something could just break out just makes this fun. It's not all about the big pack and all about the big one. It's about the different strategies you see with these two packs all literally half a track apart from each other.
Now the pit lane delta, about 28 seconds, about an average of about 28 seconds. Right now, their lead, this pack on the guys that have pitted, it's right now about 25 seconds, about 24 and a half seconds. So it's going to be really, really close, Chris, when they decide to make this pit stop if it's a green flag one.
But you also got to remember, too, it takes about a half a lap to three-quarters of a lap for the cars to get up to speed. So all that momentum, that 24-second lead could easily be about a 10-second advantage when it's all over with. So that delta plus getting up to speed can definitely play a role when this is all over with. Right now, you see John Wilco, that New Way number 62. He is the leader at Toyota Camry out front there. Rick Thompson, the American Pool Supply, number 76 there in second. Troy Haight, who made his return last week in Richmond, had himself a pretty good run for the most part, running there in third. Thomas George, who was the leader of the other pack, lost that pack, is now in this pack, is running into fourth position. Then Justin Rodden there in the fifth position here. But everybody's single file. I'm just looking around to see any kind of packs, but everybody's single file, just going around the track here, logging laps.
You know, Chris, one of the things I've come to really, really enjoy about the Premier Racing League is the effort that these guys go to get sponsors for their cars. Real world sponsors, not just, something grabbed down out of the air, something fictitious. You've got New Way Building Maintenance there, and American Pool Supply, and Fred J. Moyer Insurance. I mean, it's really cool, man. It makes it interesting.
Yeah, having those sponsors in, you go back to the NP3 design car on James Krahula. You got the Coastal Safety Auditors, and you got Josh Grouper running the 25. That car is sponsored by the series Patriot Fire right there in the ninth position. So when you have a league like this that has these kind of sponsors out here, that just tells you how good of a job you're doing as a league. So definitely kudos to them.
I said Fred J. Moyer Insurance. I'm sorry. Fred J. Moyer is a plumbing company, people. I don't know. You might be able to get plumbing insurance, maybe. So.
Well, they're based out of Allentown, Pennsylvania.
And we're living here in Allentown.
Nice.
I was in Allentown on my way to New York. Got a friend of mine who lives there.
That's a really beautiful area. We actually, when I live up here in upstate New York, and we're coming from Carolina, we will jump on, I think it's 22 up to 11, and take that up towards Williamsport. And it's just such a beautiful road.
Dorney Park, baby.
Yeah. Everybody pretty much still single file here. Well, the question is, when will the front pack pit? The second pack you're seeing on screen right now, those guys pitted about 10 laps ago. I think we know what this answer is going to be. Ready for this lead pack to be coming to pit road.
Yeah, it looks like they're all going to go together.
Who comes?
Not
does it?
everybody.
Thompson a late commit. Ooh, Livingston's coming in hot. Oh, Livingston spins it. Look out.
Ouch.
Nice job by everybody to miss him.
He just got a car turned around. Big mistake.
Oh, Taylor Klinker hits the inside wall in Rick Thompson's pit stall. Watching Livingston here, I knew he was coming hot. He had to jump to the inside to not run. See, you know what probably happened here, and I don't have the audio, obviously, on my monitor here, but did he downshift come to the pits? Because I wonder if he wheel hopped. Very easy to do. I've always told the guys when I show people pit stops, I never downshift on a restrictor plate track while going to the pit road. I just hit my mark and I just brake until I get to pit road speed and then shift it to second. Because I always worry that I'm a downshift while I'm doing that, and all of a sudden, bop, 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 you're spinning.
So, Chris, you want to talk a little bit about the Captain Motorsports strategy this evening?
I don't know. They're racing. I'm just a broadcaster. Troy Hay coming back in. Not sure if he got black flag, maybe speeding on exit. That would be the only reason he'd come to pit road, unless maybe he got a fuel glitch or something.
Oh, boy.
Hate to see this for Troy.
Oh, he went there right before
the people
me.
in chat wanted it.
Oh, I hate it for him, too.
Well, he's on for the right side's on, so it's not a penalty here. He's taking tires. Did he miss his pit stall, maybe? Well, I'm gonna go back here and look real quickly.
The battle up front is a good one right now. It's not really a battle. It's four cars that know they've right now got a little bit of an advantage on the field if they just stay in line and work together. Brett Puncari doing what he needs to stay in this race with that damaged race car. Got a great restart on after that first caution there, Chris, and he's made it work for him.
I can confirm Troy Haight did miss his pit stall. In that first pit stop. That's why he had to come back to pit road, and as you see, he's getting swallowed up by that second pack right now. But yeah, you mentioned Pancari and these guys here. This pack of four are your leaders right now. And these four cars are, I mean, right now looking at times in the 49s. This pack back here is in the 48-second bracket. So four cars running in the 49s, they are going to get caught pretty quick. They might want to go ahead and get to pit road, or either that or just pray for some kind of caution. That would be their best bet probably right now. Yeah, the front pack, 49 flats to 49 ones. That last time by, the second pack, all in the 1.5s, 1.4s, 1.2s, and 1.3s in the 48-second bracket. It's almost a full second faster.
Boy, Ricky Harden got a heck of a run off the turn there. He's done a really good job of working with Josh Gruper here. As they've made contact several times, but it hasn't resulted in getting Scruper's car out of shape, not once. And Boy, that's just good work right there. That's a couple of guys that are really comfortable running with each other, Chris.
Well, and this is not the Daytona car that Ricky Harden's driving. That is over in Premier USA outside Daytona International Speedway. He's actually got the second car here tonight. As you know, Harden was the Daytona 300 winner.
That's right, he was, and certainly makes him a favorite to win this race tonight. Got himself in a good spot right now.
Tell you what, we always talk about restrictor plate racing, bringing out some of the sleepers. Look at a guy in fourth. Travis McQuiston. Oh, it's fourth in line. He's eighth right now overall, but the fourth place car in the second line that eventually will become the top 5 with Travis McQuiston, that Windows 10 car, looking to go to victory lane potentially.
Boy, I sure hope they don't update the software on that car at some point during this race.
You were looking for something, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
You just don't want to see Windows crash, do you?
Well, that's supposed to get the blue screen of death there. No B-sides with Windows 10. You should be okay.
So when he blinks, is that a DDoS hack then?
Yazik, no big surprise there. He's in the middle of this. Yazik also in the IndyCar last night in the Lionheart IndyCar Series there at Mosport. I'm trying to remember how he finished. I made the point in the race. That dude is just fast in everything, Chris.
Yeah, Yazik can race. That's what it comes down to. The man could just plain race in whatever car. There's a reason why he does a majority of the oval lap guides on GSRC. He knows what he's doing. Well, most of the time.
Livingston getting out of the way here, staying up top, letting everybody get by. Good job by Gerald.
Now, looking at my telemetry and stuff right now, these cars should be coming to pit road within the next 3 laps. We'll have to see when these cars come to pit road, these front 4 cars.
Yeah, Chris, the window is closing, isn't it?
Yeah, you wonder why. I'm looking at Jonathan Lawrence. He's actually on number 38. He might have to pit this time. You can tell they're having fun out here. I'm listening to some of the chat right now between the drivers. They definitely have a good time in this league, can you tell?
Yeah, probably won't be broadcasting driver chat anytime soon, but it is fun, folks.
Yeah, you think Radioactive's crazy on FS1 when they had their show during the week. You ain't seen nothing yet. Should mention one driver that's not here tonight. I'll go ahead and put this out there. Jonathan Goodell, one of the Steel Horse racing members. He's on suspension tonight due to the incident that you saw at Richmond last week involving him and Drew Carroll, which I don't see Drew Carroll here tonight either, I just noticed. Yeah, just want to get that announcement out there. But tonight is the Steel Horse Racing 250, that whole team sponsoring this race. So I think it would be kind of cool for one of their team members to get to victory lane.
No Snoop Doggy Don either, another Steel Horse Racing member. Yeah. I don't even see him watching.
Out of all the weeks,
totally. Yeah.
That Don could have went on vacation, he picks the week of Talladega.
That's like from the chat, just absent, period.
You know what that's like? That's like getting married during a big game.
Boy, these guys up front, they got a big decision to make here quick.
Sounds like it's going to be right now. Herring's calling out his pit stop to these guys, so Brett's going to come with him, it looks like. Pancari, I see Herring. So DQ car is going to be pitting for a new Blizzard and 4 tires. Apparently they got the Guardians of the Galaxy Blizzard that I got to go try out now. And interesting strategy here. The guys are coming back to pit road from the other pack.
Wow.
So this is going to actually help out this front pack. Oh, the 62 spinning. There goes the cone.
Oh, boy. Going for a ride.
Wilco just Wilco'd the cone.
Pancari gets into his stall clean. Wilco finally getting to his.
You know what's funny? Scroop and him said they were coming to pit road. They stayed out.
Well,
I was wondering why they said they were coming to pit road.
4 tires and fuel for Punkari. He's going to be the first one off the pit lane out of that pack that came in. Here comes Stephen Herring right behind him, getting off the lane.
Yeah, probably only going to have about 2 cars coming in this pack, so they're going to be looking for help. They are going to be looking for that yellow hanky.
Wilco getting off the pit lane here also.
So that hands the lead to Josh Skrupa in the 25. Ricky Harden going to be second. Jonathan Shipman up to third. And now Travis McChristian up to fourth. So this is your front pack now. Coming into the Tri-Ovals, we're going to have 6 laps before this halfway bonus. Just a FYI to Brett and chat, we're actually doing okay with jokes tonight. Usually it's out of hand.
Yeah, we haven't even hit our quota yet, have we?
No, there's a reason why one of us are on vacation usually every 3 weeks. We have to build the ratings back up.
And the rumors of my vacation being a Jordan-esque induced vacation are they are not true. So my gambling habit is totally under control. So I'm just leave it at that.
You had every right to go on vacation. Your son graduating school and stuff. That's cool.
Yes, sir. From the great University of North Texas.
I mean, green.
Yes, sir. Do you believe in the mean green?
I always played at them. I always liked playing as them in the college football games. I always liked being like a team that wasn't so good. No offense to them. But back in the day, they weren't real good. And build them up. Old Shipman going to jump to the high side here. Is McQuiston going to go with him? I think so.
Brian Yazik up there. Don't mess with the Cohan. Here he comes. Oh, they're going to try and gang up on these guys. Oh, Scribble.
Wow. Oh, and Shipman's going to get hung by that. How about McChristian going to the lead?
Getting some help from Brian Yazik. Look at those boys go. Nick Cohan going to stay up top there with Yazik. Now they're going to stay up. McQuistion goes down to the inside, Chris.
And they're getting a little racy up here. Well, you know what? It's getting close to halfway as Devin Cannon is taking his car behind the wall, the 83. Unfortunate night for him. But, yeah, the fight for that halfway point is coming. We're going to be 3 laps to go this time by with all these bonus points on the line.
Boy, and you know McQuistion, he knew exactly what time it was. He jumped up there, and he's got a stranglehold on it right now. Does not want to give that up. Yazik Cohan's starting to fall off just a bit. The bottom side starting to move again.
Whoa, Scruple with an instant move out of line there. Apparently, McChristian just got the message on in his car that his computer must restart in 4 minutes. So he's trying to get to the halfway point. That outside line, not really got much help.
Oh, it's starting to move again, though. Here we go. Yazik plays this right. He can pick up this this bonus.
Well, that outside line works on the straightaways. If you can get enough side draft and push, you can get up there.
He's getting it now.
2 to go. Who is going to get the 10 bonus points?
Man, it's been a great race here so far, Chris.
Fantastic.
Just knocking him down.
Just the one caution. That was back at lap number 2 when Rhett McBride got turned. And caused about an 8 to 10 car pileup. Only seeing, 5 cars out of the race right now. Krovach, Mahan, McBride, Troy Hayden, Devin Cannon gone behind the wall. But that outside line starting to fall back again. Coming up on the lap car, Rich Jetty, who was actually 41 laps down in 26th. He was in that big wreck also earlier.
Yeah, we got a small field tonight, though, and Rich sees the advantage in staying out there, picking up points. You know, and as long as he can stay out of the way and stay out of trouble.
Oh, Harden jumps out of line.
Yeah, boy, jumps up top there with Yazik. Going to try and make something work. Hope to get a push here.
Skrupa jumps up.
Oh, McQuistion tries to break their momentum and can't do it. Bye-bye.
This is the final lap of this run right here. They're coming to the halfway point right now.
Wow. Man.
Josh Skrupa made the move when it counts here. Let's see if anybody's going to poke out a line. Is Harden going to? Doesn't look like it. Josh
That
Skrupa.
was a veteran move.
Yep, he'll be the American Pool Supply Halfway Leader Award winner. 10 bonus points going to the 25 for leading the halfway point. Thanks to our good friends at American Pool Supply for sponsoring the halfway award. You were saying, Sean?
Nah, it's saying that, that was a veteran move by Skrupa there, and he knew what time it was, took care of it.
And Skrupa has gone to the lead. Ricky Harden pushing that inside. Now you wonder how much this changes the strategy now with this all ending. Now you're going to lap 94.
Well, these boys getting to the end of their run here, Chris. This is working lap 31 here for our leaders as they come across the line.
Yeah, so now basically you're looking at lap 31, as you mentioned. They can go about another 7 laps. That would take you to lap 56, which would lead you to 38 laps to go. So basically this race is split in half right now by these guys. One more pit stop will get you to the finish. See Mr. Tungate watching us in chat tonight. Thank you, sir, for helping with the American Pool Supplies. Glad to have you as a sponsor in the series.
Get Billy always hanging out for these broadcasts. Always good to see him there in the chat.
And I see we need to get this Brett guy a job. He's over here throwing puns at us now. He's jumping off the diving board with some of these flash jokes.
But bumps. So, Chris, you think top 10 here? They all coming together?
Yeah,
same time. Just everybody throw it in there.
I think they got no other choice now. Right now, if this race were to stay green, they can get to lap 56. They will get the distance on one more tank of fuel. Now, if they come in any earlier, that's no bueno. Yeah, mixture of teams here. You got some unacceptable guys in here. Got some Steel Horse guys in here. Captain Motorsports with one car in here. Definitely a good mixture of teams in this pack of cars.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody being pretty friendly, too, Chris.
You know, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go side by side here for a quick minute or two. We're going to take a break and get you back here to more racing from Talladega. But as you look up in the right corner, you'll see as we're live on the Global Sim Racing channel. Chris Scala, Sean Ambrose with you here at the Talladega Super Speedways. You haven't missed a single thing as we were side by side. And we are going to see some pit stops happening here as we're coming up on it. And you see this front pack is catching the second pack that was together just a little bit ago. And we are going to see some pit stops, I think, this time by. Let's see who comes to pit road.
Yeah, Ricky Harden just made the call. Here we go.
So Peltier's coming. The whole lead pack is coming. Oh, Scrupa locking him up.
Oh, boy.
If he hit the speed limit, I will be surprised.
Wow, Norm Pelletier right in front of Scrupa as he slid in there. Man, that was close.
He's going to need 4 tires.
Pelletier.
Oh, Scrupa missed his stall.
Yeah, Scrupa just missed it. Pelletier missed his.
See if anybody goes 4 tires here. Looks like 2 tires for everybody, 4 tires for some.
Now, Shipman stayed out, Chris. Shipman on the track all by himself in the lead.
Well, that's not good for him.
He's getting around these cars here now.
Well, he's in this pack, so this might not be so bad for him.
Getting by Brent Pucari right now.
We'll have to see if Shipman can get these guys to come to pit road maybe or something. But he does have a teammate right there behind him with Pancari, so this could be a team move here.
Boy, he's really pushing it.
Yeah, he needs to... Could be very interesting. As Paul Pepper's on pit road, Tim Johnston, Thomas George, Rick Thompson, all coming to pit road here.
Here comes Shipman, in by himself.
Shipman coming to pit road here. I think he's just trying to
No, who's coming in with him there? That's Gerald Livingston.
Gerald Livingston. He kept it straight on pit road. That's good. Progress.
Well, maybe he'll have a partner coming out here.
He's got Paul Pepper. I think Pepper's got a penalty. He's still sitting on pit road here. Paul Pepper's about to call his Lonely Hearts Club band here. He's all by himself. But yeah, Shipman and Livingston going to leave here. And here comes the pack out of turn 4 now. So let's see if Shipman and Livingston can get with this pack of cars.
Well, Shipman coming out now. I mean, in turn 1, here comes the pack screaming. Wow, did Shipman play this just right?
Well, lap
close.
59, he can make it all the way on fuel. Everybody can make it from here on fuel.
Oh, he's got to go.
I think that second pack he might be able to join. Because here's the first pack coming behind him. He's got these 5 cars back behind him. I think he's going to be okay. Livingston, not so much.
Didn't have quite enough momentum to hang with this front pack, but he's in the rocking chair here in the middle of these 2 packs, Chris. Not a bad call by Shipman. He got to go on the pit lane by himself and avoid any trouble. I like that move.
Very interesting. Well, it was the safest move because you had nobody else with you on pit road, but it was also the most hazardous because you didn't have anybody with you. And now you see the rest of his pack coming up. He should be able to jump on board here with these guys. Now let's see how quickly and he did the smart move and stayed on the low line, so he'll definitely get the draft of these cars. But leader right now, Brian Yazik, the 55. Nick Cohan second, Travis McQuistion up the third. And then we'll wait for the rest of the field to update here.
Hey, I see 3 familiar cars have hooked up on track. James Scarola, Ricky Harden, Tommy Ryan, all riding together, bunched up here for the last 35 laps of this race. That should be interesting.
Yeah, I believe it's a couple of unacceptable guys and a Steel Horse guy. If I remember correctly, Tommy Ryan, a member of Steel Horse Racing. And
no, those are all unacceptable boys.
I'm not perfect. 1 plus 1's 11.
And 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, that's what they say. It's too hot to fish, too cold to golf. That's an old song. So Shipman has joined that pack. They're right behind the 25 of Josh Skrupa. So you see Jacek Cohan, McChristian, and Norman Peltier, who is actually a lap down in that Gumout 56 car.
Hey, Justin Rodden's dad checking in, actually.
See that?
Yeah, old NASCAR 3 racer. So,
I played that game, actually.
I might have raced with him way back then. So.
I've done the NASCAR 1, 2. I've done the 3. I've done 99, which had the first year they had the trucks and stuff, I believe, on there. Yeah, I've done them all. NASCAR 3, though, that was cool. That was fun. That was the first game to have Daytona on it, because they had to bring a patch out later and put Daytona on the track, on the game. So looking at Yaz,
this is going to be fun. I'm just watching what Skrupa here and Shipman are doing, and this pack is starting to catch up here.
Yep.
It's not going to be long.
Yeah, these 4 guys leading, but let's go ahead and put a big NFL on this one. Not for long. But they do have Paul Pepper here. That's a teammate to Jacek and Cohan, so he'll probably help him here a little bit.
Man, they're going to be right up against it in fuel. Except for Shipman.
Well, if I see, 63, so right now that would be 38 laps on this run. We'll get him to the finish.
They're going to be right up against it. Shipman got 2 extra laps in the tank right now, so we'll see.
He knows something we don't know. I mean, he is a Marine, so he might know something.
Really?
He is.
Hoorah. All right.
But Cohan right there pushing Jacek McChristian. He is having a whale of a run, that 93 car. Very happy for him. You see them go around a lap car of Paul Pepper, the Richmond winner. He needs the caution really badly. So you got this big pack of cars. You got about 9 cars in this pack, well, plus a couple lap cars. And you go back to 10th as you're just on board there. But you go back to 10th, you got a 4-car pack here. This has Justin Rodden, Brett Pancari, Stephen Herring, and Gerald Livingston. This pack here, they have to pit probably in the next, for Rodden, the next 10 laps, or next 3 laps, 4 laps, and then the rest of them to just a couple laps after that. And then you fall back to this next pack that has Thomas George, Rick Thompson, Tim Johnston. These guys just came off pit road recently. And then you got another pack of John Wilco, Taylor Klinker, and
this could get really back quick. Look at Skrupa.
3 wide for the lead.
Jacek's the meat. Oh boy.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Wow. Ay.
Well, I see all these guys doing call-outs on games on the chat, so I'm gonna one-up them and go with Bill Elliott NASCAR for Nintendo. Take that, boys. And he had the Kyle Petty game too, if I remember.
I'm gonna one-up everybody. I had the Evel Knievel stunt cycle. Okay.
Wait, they had video games when you were young? So Rodney and Herring coming to pit road here, so scheduled pit stops for those guys. Oh, Shipman hangs out Jacek. As you're seeing Herring come to pit road and those guys.
Wow. Jacek getting hung out to dry there.
Jacek probably like, is there something I said?
There he goes. He's going to slip in behind Corolla in front of Cohan.
And you see Rodden and Herring going to go a lap down here, and you see this outside line going to try to form back up. The 3 loud pedal cars all lined up there. They're trying to get it going here. Coming up on Randy Oakham, one of the dual winners from Daytona earlier this season, when the 8 car unfortunately was off the track.
Oh, James, real close. James Carolla going around a lap car.
The chat they have in here.
It's amusing tonight, isn't it?
It's great. Play some Benny Hill music with it. And separated that pack just a little bit. You see Harden back here and Peltier. These guys having a hard time getting through the package. Right on board with Cohan. Cohan trying to push Yazik in that high line.
And Yazik's been willing to stay up there and keep working with it. I know he got left out, hung out to dry, but he's still in this, and no one's gotten away from him here yet. If Carolla gets, oh boy, and there he goes. He lost his partner there. As Cohan drops to the bottom, gets in behind Carolla, and it looks like Yazik is going to be forced to drop in now.
Cohan making
maybe not. Cohan goes back up.
I think it might be a little too soon for that move, Sean, because he has nobody really helping him yet. Yazik's still getting his momentum back here. Cohan's probably on his own here.
Johan too.
And Johan Santana also. And look at his side draft.
Yeah.
Shipman's going to jump up there with Cohan. Had an accident on the track I'm looking for. I was listening. I don't see where it's at though, but it was with Thompson. But up here for the lead, Shipman working that high side with Cohan.
Boy, Shipman really pretty racy this evening. I love it, man. The Florida driver really got this track dialed in this evening.
Scrupa leads that lap barely, but with Christian not leaving his back bumper. Tyler Dalton, that Davey Allison tribute scheme, running in third. That high line looked good for a second. And McChristian going to poke out a line here. Like, oh no,
that's it.
Big
Oh
wreck.
boy. Wow. Well, Chris, that was the big one.
Oh my.
Yeah, oh my. Look at this replay.
Yazik in this, Cohan's in this. Wow. Let's see this on replay. We're at the
It's hard to call it, man. I mean,
I don't know if Shipman just maybe got the bumper wrong on Travis, but Krahula's in it. Might have to get on bumper of Shipman if we can, or on board there. But I think he might have just hit Travis the wrong way. He was trying to help him. He did nothing wrong. He was trying to help him.
boy, and yeah, wow. That's really anybody's call.
Tyler Dalton, I think, made it through there.
Yeah, somebody came on and said that's restrictor plate racing, and unfortunately, even in iRacing, that is restrictor plate racing. And I had hoped we wouldn't get one of those, Chris, before this race ended, but we did, and that took out a lot of good race cars.
Leader's going to come to pit road, and I look at Dalton's rear end is damaged heavily. That spoiler's all messed up, so he was getting in this wreck.
You know who did make it through that? Jonathan Shipman.
Yep. We'll have to see. Yeah, unfortunately there, I think just contact between him and the 93 unfortunately triggered that wreck. But needless to say, caution out, everybody on pit road, lead lap cars. And that's going to shrink the field up big time.
Well, throw all your strategies out the window now.
What strategies? And guess what? We get to bring him out for the first time tonight.
Yeah! Look at that.
Coastal Safety Honor is Lucky Dog. Your one-stop shop for Iron Life Safety Equipment and Services goes to Paul Pepper. He is getting your Lucky Dog here. We'll be back on the lead lap here. So looks like Ricky Harden and Thomas George have stayed out. And the rest of these cars have come to pit road on the lead lap. Right now, I'm seeing only 13 cars now on the lead lap with that wreck.
Yeah, and because of strategy, that's it's going to happen when you get a late caution like this, and not everybody necessarily cycled around, Chris. And it's going to be tough to make that up now. You're going to get a lot of good race cars are going to be a lap down with really no chance to get back into this thing unless of course we get a string of cautions here at the end. But I don't know if we're gonna see that or not. But obviously, several drivers benefiting from that caution that were maybe behind on the strategy. So we're going to get back to racing here pretty quick. It's going to be a fun 20-lap shootout probably.
And we're going to get you there from, our final break that we're going to take right now as we step away. We're going to get our last break in as we'll go side by side, and we'll be back on the Global Sim Racing channel. Back to Talladega Super Speedway as I'm listening to some of the chat going on. We're about to go racing here. We're listening to Travis and Christian, also Josh Grupo here you're seeing in chat now, and then Jonathan Shipman. Apparently there was no contact at all between McChristian and Shipman. McChristian just lost it, and the accident escalated from there. I don't know, maybe there's some kind of net code maybe in that or something, but even McChristian's like, I had no clue what happened there. So very interesting start of that wreck there over in 3 and 4. But here's our situation. Ricky Hart and Thomas George, they have stayed out, and they are the leaders. Third, Jonathan Shipman. Brett Pancari, fourth. Rick Thompson, that American Pool Supply car, up to fifth. Tim Johnston. James Scarula still in seventh. Looks like he's still got a little bit of damage, but not too much. Jonathan Lawrence, eighth. John Wilco. Tyler Dalton, your top 10, as we are going to have 20 laps to go when we get the green flag. We still got plenty of racing to go. as Harden jumps on it. And he will move to the bottom here as we get the green.
Nice restart by Ricky Harden.
Yeah,
Shoots himself up front there immediately.
This looked a little more smooth than that other restart did.
Well, it's only the second one we've had all night.
Yeah, the first one looked kind of, for lack of a better way of calling it, IndyCar-ish. Not that I'm dissing IndyCar. They got good racing, too. But that inside line forming up really quickly. Brett Pancari, that first car on the outside, and Johnson's going to hang him out. That damage might be affecting that 37's top end.
Yeah, and Pancari, that's the situation he's got to avoid. He's got to drop down here as quick as he can. Go. He's got a hot. Yeah, there we go.
Hey, he found his spot in line there for Pancari. But yeah, your top three is Harden, Thomas George, and Shipman. And wow, easy for me to say here. Ricky Harden is where I'm trying to get out of my mouth. Is the Daytona 300 winner. So he's looking to go 2 for 2 on restrictor plate tracks.
Yeah, I thought about picking Ricky Harden, but I'm not allowed to pick Ricky Harden. So he's discouraged me against that.
It's frowned upon apparently in the it's unacceptable in that racing team.
Yes.
But you think about 19 laps, you're like, yeah, that's going to be a pretty short. We'll be done quickly. When you think about 19 laps being actually 50 miles left in this race still.
Well, sir, it's only 18 laps to go now as they come across the line here.
Less than 50.
And they are pedaling right now. Everybody up to full speed. Rick Thompson all over the bumper of Jonathan Shipman.
Now your top 8 have separated out from this second pack that's being led by Tyler Dalton. They're starting to work their way single file. Tommy Ryan with some damage on that 6. A lot of these cars in the second pack with a little bit of damage. Justin Rodden's up in there too. Rodden is the first car 1 lap down in 13. There are 12 cars in the lead lap. But hopefully they can get organized here and we'll get a big old pack of racing.
Boy, Tyler Dalton leading this pack right now. You know, Pancari actually done a good job to he got to get in line, and that has helped. And all these cars with just a little bit of damage on them, but they're still running strong. Ooh, Pancari right there up on the bumper of Dalton. Car gets awful squirrely.
Oh, and up here, John Wilco going inside of Krahula. So Wilco's starting to make moves. Thompson going to jump up there.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. And that's going to help this second pack.
Maybe.
They're going to catch this front pack now. Right on board with Krahula, you see the damage on the MP3 Designs Chevrolet SS. They're going to fall back in line. As I'm looking at the separations, it's about 1.7 from leader back to Dalton, but that's only about 1.2 seconds from Krahula back to Dalton. So that run can easily be felt right now from that second pack if they can just stay single file. But look at Tim Johnson. He's getting racy up there.
Yes, sir. Yes, he is. Everybody in this pack starting to kind of move around a little bit. Get some air.
So, Mr. Rambos, the question I have for you is, when do you make your move?
Not for a while. I think you kind of got to do what Scrupa did there at the halfway point. You've really got to wait until that last lap, maybe the next to last lap, but what you don't want to do is make that move too soon and leave yourself a sitting duck for those guys to reverse the whip on you there and put that move back on you.
Well, and here's the way I've always looked at restrictor plate racing. I would always rather be leading at the 5 lap to go mark than I would with 2 to go. And the only reason I say that is because at 5 to go, you never know if a caution comes out after that. And if you're in the lead at 5 to go, you win pretty much at that point. where if you're still in second or third at 2 to go, that caution could bite you. That's just how I've always felt. But
Boy,
people are different.
And we're on board with Tim Johnson. I'm paying attention to James Carhula. He's continued to kind of fall back through the field. He's now back there with Rick Thompson, and Tyler Dalton and Brett Bucari have caught them. So another pack kind of developing here. I don't know if that pack is quick enough to catch these guys up front, because they are really starting to run now here.
Well, Thompson has no damage on that 76, and if Carhula can get to that bumper, he can push them. But I think the best bet, again, I mentioned the Q line, and for those who don't know what I mean by the Q line, if you're somebody who doesn't do a lot of restrictor plate racing, there's a specific line on iRacing that you run on these tracks, and if you run it in a pack, believe it or not, you don't use your tires as much, but then you start catching that lead pack. And basically what it is you come off the corner and you slide up to about the middle groove, even higher to where you saw Pancari just now on the screen. You're almost up in that middle groove going down the straightaway so that you can not scrub speed. Got to keep an eye on the 24. Apparently he's had to back off to 15, a little overheating maybe.
Yeah, and remember what I said in the opening of this race, Chris. Every time you turn that wheel here at Talladega, you are scuffing speed. So it's very, very little input to the steering wheel here for maximum speed. And that's really what this second group is going to need here at this point. They're not too far back, but they're far enough back right now that, if they're wasting time scuffing speed, they're not going to have much of a chance left. I mean, we're going to have 11 laps to go this time by, and they need to get Rick Thompson and the boys need to get busy here quick.
They're starting to catch the leaders. They're within a second of the last car, and that pack is breaking up a little bit in the front here. So I think you're going to see something here. But let's check. How about this, Sean? You got Daytona 300 winner Ricky Harden in the front. The next 5 cars in line in this pack have never won a Premier Racing League Cup race.
Now that is a good trivia question right there, buddy.
Not to mention, you go all the way back to the 7th place car, Rick Thompson. He's never won a Cup race. So all the way from Ricky Harden to James Carhula, you got a bunch of wannabe winners here. And I mentioned earlier, in NASCAR, 10 times has, in NASCAR, as a first-time winner, been his only win at Talladega. And recently was Ricky Stenhouse. I mean, I think of some other names on the list. Bobby Hillin, to name one. Phil Parsons, his only win came at Talladega. Bouchard, we mentioned the 81 race. That was his only win. Trying to think of some other drivers off the top of my head there. But all these guys have gotten one win and one win only at Talladega. Oh, they're getting tight up front.
Yeah, and Rick Thompson and the boys back here still a second away. They've gained nothing here in the past 2 laps, Chris.
Well, it's 1.3 now. They're only a second from the pack because it's gotten tighter, the pack, but they're catching the leader. It's down to 1.2 seconds now. It was 1.5 a couple laps ago.
Yeah, actually, Carhula having the fastest lap that last time. So, yeah, small gains, Chris. That may be enough time to get there. And we'll have, 9 laps to go this time by.
9 to go. That second pack starting to catch that lead pack. I think we could go ahead and use Soup's line here. Catching them's one thing, passing them's another.
Yeah, it's kind of like milking a rooster.
Josh Grupa joining us in chat. Appreciate him doing that. Even though, Richard Brickhouse, another one. Where Shipman makes the move outside.
Well, I don't know. He couldn't get anybody to go with him there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
See, he might have to jump back in here. He will.
Maybe he was really hot. He's been following for quite a while. Might have needed that breath of fresh air.
Very interesting as I look up now, 1 second from that second pack. You see, you smell that? That's that pack.
Smells like petrol.
I don't know what's going on Long Island. Eight laps to go. Shipman poking his nose back out there again.
Yeah, he's got to have somebody to go with him. It's good to poke your nose out there, and you want to make a move. You're going to have somebody come with you. Again, it might all be about cooling that car off. He was following for an awful long time.
Tell you what, that 62 is Wilco's all over Thomas George right now. 7 laps to go. Harden moving up the track a little bit. He's trying to get some air to Thomas George's radiator. Who is going to win the Steel Horse 250? Steel Horse Racing 250 here at Talladega. Next week, oh, by the way, the longest race on the schedule, the World 400 at Charlotte. That'll be fun next Thursday night, 267 laps. Shipman with no help at all. He's trying to get Jonathan Lawrence up there. Jonathan's trying to get a Jonathan to help him. Pack has caught him. That second pack's there.
Yeah, they are. They are really, really closing up. The last, folks, do not step away
Shipman
from your
makes a move.
computer
Thomas
TV.
George making a move.
Oh,
Sorry to
boy.
cut you off, Sean.
No, it's okay.
George getting hung out. Riding on board with the door, and that camera's somehow still there.
Mission accomplished. Here comes Rick Thompson. Got to run on the 54.
Ooh, that's tight. Johnson
Tim
pulls out there on Lawrence.
He certainly does. They're going to try and make this high line work. Here they come.
Coming back to the stripe, 5 laps to go. We are pretty much hitting that point of no return. There is no green-white checkers in iRacing.
If I'm Shipman, I'm moving up right now. Move up now, Shipman. Catch this high line and run with those boys.
If not, Wilco even. Tim Johnston.
I think you might be able to win this race from the top side if
that high side's organized. Oh, one car blowing up. One car blew up. Norman Peltier has gone grenade.
Wow.
Thomas George poking out the line.
Yep. They've got the numbers. They've got. There it goes, Shipman.
Jumps out of line. Ooh. Oh, they got the run on him. Maybe, maybe not. That outside line's a moving. Look at the run.
Wow. Look at Shipman go. Gotta watch out.
Thomas George, what's he gonna do here? Shipman throwing a block.
Oof.
On the bottom, Ricky Harden trying to push to 23, the 54. Tim Johnston pushing to 24. 3 laps to go. That outside line is forming.
And I talked about this, about not making that move too soon. Shipman in a very precarious position here. He's going to have to defend every stretch of the way home.
That outside line is looking better and better, it seems like, every corner. Oh, look at them side drafting each other here. Oh, door tag as Thomas George to the front. Ooh. Oh, it's a block. 2 laps to go. Yes, sir. Remember, start-finish line's up here.
Can you dig it, baby?
Now, we do have some lap cars that are coming up on here.
Oh,
Gerald
boy.
Livingston and the 98 is Stephen Herring. They need to go to the high side here.
Or just pull off the track, one or the other. Get out of the way.
They have gone single file. for now. Tim Johnston, the first one out of line.
Corhula gonna follow him. Look for Harden to jump up there. No, Harden gonna dip to the inside.
Oh, Ricky with a crossover on Shipman. White flag, this is going to finish under green. Harden jumps out.
Oh, boy.
George throws a huge block. Oh, get your popcorn.
Harden trying to break the momentum of Shipman. Shipman right on him.
Oh,
Shipman
elevator
from the
move.
inside.
Big block.
Shipman in
Up
the middle. Oh.
Harden to the front.
Wow. Look at Ricky Harden go trying to pull this off here. Harden to the front, Chris. All yours, baby.
Off of turn 4, George going to make a move to the high side. Here comes Thompson to the bottom. Ricky Harden won the Daytona 300. He comes back and goes 2 for 2 on restrictor plate tracks and wins at Talladega. And a wrecking.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Chris, I'm left a little speechless. I know you are too.
I've got nothing. I'm like,
I got nothing. Yeah.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to call it early, but I'm like, I think Harden's got it. I think Harden's got it. And he got it.
He didn't get it by much.
No, he didn't. Wow, look at that. Wow.
Yeah,
What a race.
That was amazing.
Well, here's a chance for everybody to go get some water, take a break, go to the bathroom, do what you have to do. We're going to go do the same. And we got those bags, right, that we catch our air with. But we're going to do that, and we'll go talk to the winners in Victory Lane next on the Global Sim Racing channel. Back at Talladega Super Speedway, and if you are just joining us, you missed a wild finish that saw the Daytona 300 winner Ricky Harden make a pass on the back straightaway of Thomas George to win at Talladega, sweeping so far the first two restrictor plate racing races. And he is basically gone 2 for 2 and knows how to win on restrictor plate tracks. And we'll look at the final standings here. I'm listening to chat. That's kind of why I'm stalling here. I'm listening to what they're saying on chat. But let's look at the final standings. Ricky Harden is going to get the win there. Thomas George second. Rick Thompson finishing third. Jonathan Shipman fourth. Tim Johnston, your top five. Look at the separation between the top five. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Wow. And, Crapola sixth, Wilco seventh, and then Jonathan Lawrence, Brett Pancari, Tyler Dalton, your top 10, Sean.
Sorry there, Chris. I thought you were throwing it to me. Well, you know what? Tommy Ryan, for all the great racing he did, is going to have to settle for 11th. Paul Pepper, my pick. Sorry, Paul. 12th tonight. Justin Rodden, great run for him. Loved watching his car get around the track tonight. Great cause. 13th. Randy Yoakum, 14th. Stephen Herring, 15th. Taylor Klinker, 16th. 17th, going to go to Gerald Livingston. 18th, Norman Pelletier, and 19th going to be Nick Cohan, and 20th will be Travis McQuistion tonight, 23 laps down, Chris.
You feel bad for Travis. That guy had a car that could win tonight, and actually that wreck happened there with about 20 to go. But Josh Grupa, I think he led the most laps. We'll have to see that unofficially tonight. He finished 21st. Brian Yazik, 22nd. Josh King, 23rd. Devin Cannon, 24th. Troy Haight, 25th. Rich Jetty, 26th. Brett McBride, Woodrum Hahn. And look who finishes last. Unfortunately, and I guess if there's any positive to Michael Krobach finishing 29th, he finished in the top 30.
He did.
And we can always say that to laugh only because, he's probably laughing on the side because of just how the luck has been this year. But, yeah. Anyways, let's go down to Victory Lane here and talk to Ricky Harden. I had the honor of speaking with him back in Daytona, and here we come back to Talladega, and he had a different car because the one sitting over in Premier Racing League USA in Daytona, he brings the second car out and does the same thing. Talk about that last lap, Ricky.
Oh my gosh, dude, that was insane. Did you see that racing?
Yeah, we had a hard time calling. We didn't know you were going to win until you crossed the line.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas helped me out on the restart, so I really wanted to help Thomas. Nobody had any teammates up there, which was really, really cool. I don't think we've ever had a race like that. So I pushed Thomas out in front, and I was like, well, I got to run now. I got to go. And I saw Shipman go to the middle, and I said, if he gets there, it's over. So I came down, and I barely was clear. That could have been disastrous, but it worked out. And, man, I'm just pumped to get the win. Everybody raced great up there. It was great to finish that way. I was hoping we could have a clean finish, and we really did. So that was awesome.
Yeah, the different strategies you guys are pulling and getting to the halfway point, which that was wild in itself right there, trying to get to lap 47.
Yeah, I think our team, nailed the strategy. We had it all right how we wanted it, and I was hoping to get max points tonight, but I was one short by letting Scrupa be ahead of me there at the halfway. But, hey, I'll take second at halfway and winning. That's pretty close to perfect.
Pretty much all but perfect, but you know what? You're 2 for 2 on those restrictor plate tracks, which definitely gives you a pretty good advantage. As you still got more to do this season, but that's gonna make you feel good knowing that when you come back to Daytona later this season, it's like, hey, I've already got me 2. I can go get me a 3rd.
Yeah, I wish. I mean, I'm not going to be at Daytona. I'll be missing that race, unfortunately. It's just happened to fall right on my vacation, so I wish I could go perfect, at the speedways, but. This is it comes down to 90% luck, and I mean positioning it matters a lot, but luck is a big factor. And at the end, I had it.
Ricky, I'm gonna share a quick story with you real quickly here. I know a guy once who was on vacation that actually won a race in a hotel room when he was out of town that he raced in. Take the wheel. You can do it.
My wife would not like that very much on our vacation.
Well, she don't know won't hurt. I didn't say it out loud. Anyways, congratulations. Send shout-outs to whoever you like.
The shout out to all the unacceptable guys: Josh Grupa, James Krahula, Tommy Ryan, Tyler Dalton. All of those guys did a good job calling the right strategy. Came in here with no practice, just ran a qualifying lap, and they called the strategy just right. I think if it had gone green, we had the right strategy. We had the 4 tires at the end, which I think meant a lot. It started to get really, really loose in the long run, and those guys that took 2, in fact, I think that's what caused that big wreck, was a guy taking 2 and just getting a little loose. So, that was the right strategy. I think we had the tires to beat at the end, and I think we would have been in the right spot.
All right. Hey, Ricky, I got to throw something in here real quick. Ricky and I are friends on Facebook, and I got to tell you, all of you, he's got one of the cutest kids ever in the history of the world. Where are you taking the little man for vacation? You guys going to Disney World?
No, we're going out to Clearwater Beach, Florida. We're going to have fun down there in Florida. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be his first experience down there at the beach. So, hey, I won't miss it too much being away from the race that week. I hate that it's Daytona because I know we have a chance, just like just about everybody has a chance. But
all right, Ricky, congratulations. Have fun on vacation, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week at Charlotte. Appreciate everything GSRC does. Thanks to Brian Yazik and everybody at PRL.
Well, nice job, Ricky Arden. Congratulations. Win number 2 on the season. He is he the new Pied Piper, potentially? The new Dale Jr., maybe, when it comes to restrictor plate racing? I don't know if that can still use that or not, but I did. Anyway, Sean, let's get you down here, and we'll talk to Thomas George.
Thomas George got himself on the podium. Probably didn't even know he was going to be on the podium until he came across the line. Talk us through those last couple laps, Tom.
Let's play racing at Talladega. That's all I got. And then after the race is over, I jokingly called Ricky Harden an un-American POS for not letting this American-themed Steel Horse car win the Steel Horse Racing 250. But no, that was a great. I mean, those last 10 laps. That was some of the most fun I've had racing at any kind of racing. Oh, geez, I can't even think. But it's Talladega. You can't make any predictions. I tried to make a move with 9 laps to go. Nobody went. Fell back to 4th. And then just geared up for another run, and I got it where I needed it. I had some help from the spotter stand, obviously. I like to thank Scott and Nick O'Ham for helping me out there. Just telling me where to go. I was like, why are you telling me this? I don't need help. And apparently I did, because it got me second place again. And especially after last week. Oh, man. It's a good run tonight. That's all I can really say about it.
Yeah, and so that as the last lap is coming around, you're sweating, convulsing, writhing in pain, and you get a second place finish, and yeah, you rebound from last week. You sound like a pretty happy guy right now.
I mean, I would have been happier if I got a win, obviously. You don't want to run second. I'm starting to feel like Kyle Larson just a tad, can't seem to close the deal quite yet, but last week at Richmond, I was ticked off. That was a home track for me, and basically the engine just never wanted to fire. I couldn't get it up and running, so I had to call it out on that one. But to come back here and gain a lot of points on leaders to get me back in this championship kind of negates any issues from last week. So it's a matter of time. This car is fast every single week. It's just gotta get the right strategy call. Tonight was I don't know if it was the right strategy call. It was a luck at the last lap, that last caution. Then I decided I'm staying out. I'll take the chance, and I was fighting that thing. I mean, I was just one lap away, and as soon as I got that lead, I was thinking caution, 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 and just never came. But that's racing. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you just got to sell for what you got. But I'm not disappointed with a second place.
Well, way to carry the flag for Steel Horse. Let's face it, a little thin on team members tonight in this one.
Yeah, I don't know. Some guys had Well, obviously somebody had a quote unquote brake failure, so we won't go back into that story. Some guys just couldn't, make it tonight, and was upset that Ren Rich got collected in that lap 3 wreck, which I'm not going to go into discussion about that because it's just there's certain factors in there that I can't say on the air that tick me off about that particular one, but I wish Justin had been able to hang with me too. He was fast and we were trying to bide our time, but strategy just didn't pan out the way it is. And then, like Ricky said, once the herd got thin and there were no teammates, it was kind of who you chose to work with. And at that last restart, I was like, I'm thinking, Ricky, take the high side. I'll let you in. We'll go. And then I held on until about 10 to go. And I was like, all right, it's time to start doing something here. So, but this was a good run, and I feel we're building momentum every single week. Just gotta keep pushing. There's obviously races I wish we didn't get collected in wrecks. We could be up front in the points, but sometimes it's just how racing is, and we just gotta keep pushing forward. And I do everything I can along with my teammates over at Steelhorse. We want to bring these cars home in one piece. We want to have good runs, and we want to win, and that's what we're striving to do. But we're also striving to be good racers on the track as well, and I think for the most part we did that tonight.
All right, Thomas. Well, hey, we thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you next time. Great run this evening. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Chris, that was Thomas George, and I know you're waiting, chomping at the bit to talk to Rick Thompson, the man from American Pool Supply, and boy, what a great run for him tonight.
Yeah, it seems like we're getting to do this a little more often. Getting to know Rick a little bit here, which is kind of cool. He had a top 5 a couple weeks ago, and got another one tonight. A wild finish, Rick. What did you see? Did you have your floaties on, just trying to get to the finish?
Oh man, did I ever! That thing was crazy. I don't know. I didn't really expect to finish third, to be honest with you. At the end there, I just kind of snuck us in at the end and snatched. I think I snatched that last position away from Jonathan Shipman there.
How hard was it to catch that front packs with 10 to go? You guys were slowly edging in on him. Did you feel like you could get to him?
Yeah, I actually went back there because I was trying to pick back up Krahula. He was working with me after that yellow came out, and I didn't have a whole lot of friends out there tonight, so I was trying to get with whoever I knew was going to stay with me, and so I went back to grab him, and we slowly brought him back in.
Talk about just some of the racing out there with the tire strategies. We saw the one wreck from just a car getting simply loose, but the racing out there was just fantastic.
Oh yeah, it was close racing all night. Everybody was real clean. I had a really good time working with the 24 most of the night. I got a little worried when I got into the back end of him in the tri-oval there, sitting him in the grass, I think, and he did a heck of a job saving that thing. I don't know how he did it, but he saved it, and I felt terrible, and I was just glad that he was okay and that we were able to keep on going. And I told him at the end of the race if he had gotten in front of me, I probably would have pushed him there too. I just liked working with Thomas tonight, and our cars really hooked up well together.
Well, you did a fantastic job tonight. We enjoyed watching you, Rick, there in that American Pool Supply truck. And I guess this is a good time for me to kind of mention, I usually do this as a PSA, but it is Memorial Day weekend, and usually most apartment complexes outside the state of Florida open up their pools this weekend. So just figured I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, I'm opening my pool too, and so yeah, I mean, definitely give a big shout out to my sponsor, American Pool Supply. Big shout out to my team, Speed Mafia, to James and Brian and Ricky. Everybody runs the Premier Racing League. Make sure you guys come out here. It's awesome racing, fun every single weekend, week out, and very competitive, as you can see tonight.
Well, nice job, Rick. Appreciate your time, and congratulations on your third.
Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Rick Thompson, third place finish tonight, Sean, and we're still catching our breath here. At least I am. I know you probably are too, but
yeah,
that finish, though, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, what a way to return to the series for me, coming back from a couple weeks off, and boy, that was just a blast, man. And that's the type of race you want to see at Talladega. You know, it's not always about the big one. Yeah, we had a unfortunately, with about 20, just under 25 to go, we had a big one. It took out a lot of great cars, but man, the race we wound up with there in that last 20 laps was incredible. What a finish. I can't wait to do this again next week, Chris. I appreciate Tanner coming in and helping us out and filling in for me. I really, I've said this a couple times since last night. I really missed my iRacing family, man, and it's great to be back on the air and great to be back with you and Amjad, and thanks for having me on board. That's week in, week out, such a blast watching these guys run.
Absolutely. It was a blast, and Sean, is always fun working with you. And, next week we had a Fast 5 race, and the longest race on the PRL schedule, the World 400 at Charlotte next Thursday night. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. And Charlotte, what more can you say about that facility? Always a great race. Probably the crown jewel of the mile-and-a-half tracks.
It is going to be a fun one, so we'll see you in Charlotte. But also special thanks to the Premier Racing League for putting on the Patriot Fire Cup Series. Also thanks to the software and hardware that we use for our broadcast that you see listed on your screen.
Hey, and we also want to thank our musical contributors, Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde, whose music you can find at the websites listed. For more information about future races, you can watch those on screen here in just a moment. Or you can go right to our website, globalsimracingchannel.com, where you can check out our past broadcasts, our archive there, and check in on our current schedule of events. Find us on Twitter, @GSR Channel, and yeah, you can catch us on Facebook too. Just type in Global Sim Racing Channel when you get there.
And as I mentioned, the next time we will be on the air with the Premier Racing League Patriot Fire Cup Series next Thursday. It's round 15 of the season and the third race of the summer segment, as we will have the longest race of the world, 600, 267 laps and 400 miles. I said 600, I meant 400. 267 laps, and we hope to see you at 9 p.m. Eastern Time Thursday night next week for that race, as we welcome in the month of June with a fun one, a Fast 5 race, which somebody could win some cash money when it is all over with. To our veterans who are watching us this evening and checking us out, we salute you and say thank you for your service, even those who are presently serving us and even those in the past. And we think about those who lost their lives in battle this coming weekend as we enjoy Memorial Day. Enjoy that weekend. For Dougie Beard, I'm Jed Yaman, Sean Ambrose, I'm Chris Scaller. Race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.